Good morning, this is Becky Spieth. Yep, this is me, raw, uncut, in my bathrobe, first thing in the morning. And I thought, what a better way to spend time with you, because I know many people, you're watching this in your bathrobe, you're looking at this in your bathrobe. You might be sleeping in or relaxing a little bit because it is a long weekend. It's a holiday weekend for us. We're in the middle of Passover and coming in on Easter weekend. So I just wanted to take some time, and as I was reflecting and praying about what to do with our weekend time together, our Saturday morning, I was thinking about what's the most important thing that's been on my heart that I could share with you. And I thought, why not just show you? This is what it really looks like. This is the real me in the morning. Doesn't get any better than this. I love to snuggle in the morning, but I wanted to be able to share a few things with you. So you've got me in my bathrobe, you've got me without my makeup on, and you've got me with the book that I'm currently doing several masterminds in. It's one of them, and this is John Maxwell's The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And one of the most important chapters in here that it just keeps coming up over and over and resonating in my heart is the law of reflection. And I know that was one of the coolest things that I did with John Maxwell when I went to his home, was sit in his thinking chair. And he talks a great deal about reflecting and taking the time to learn from our experiences. And one of my favorite laws in here is the law of reflection. It really helps us to move forward in our business and think about what's truly, truly important. So I wanted to share that law with you today. And the law is the law of reflection. So let me pull out my book here. And it's really cool because it comes right before the law of consistency. So I thought there's got to be a tie in there somewhere. How fun is that, right? And so it tells us that the law of reflection is actually learning to pause allows growth to catch up with us. And there's a quote in here that says, follow effective action with quiet reflection. From the quiet reflection will come even more effective action. And isn't that what we want? We want more action. Right? I don't know about you, but I always want to, have more action. And a great mentor of mine told me once that I needed to slow down in order to speed up. So I thought that was very great advice that I've been able to heed as I've moved forward in my business. So as we think about the law of reflection and we think about learning to pause, I want to encourage you this week to find a chair. This is my thinking chair. I love it because actually it's kind of a lower chair, and it not only allows the growth to catch up with me when I'm in here, but it massages my back. So I love that. There's such power in pausing. But now don't get me wrong. I'm not saying to pause and stall, but to pause. Like maybe after a party or an appointment or an interview or maybe a vendor event or a guest event. Because reflection turns the experience into insight. I'm going to give you some questions in just a second or two here around really making the most of your time of reflection. But when we pause with intention, it really expands and it enriches our thinking. So let me ask you, how do you really do this with intention? A lot of people ask me that. Number one, you want to investigate. Pausing is about finding the meaning in each experience. Really look for that important meaning. What can you learn from it? Let it incubate. Just like a crock pot, cooking, it allows those rich flavors of an experience and of your thoughts to marinate to reach their full potential. Now, this is important when we're thinking about reflecting, because then it's going to help, once we have it marinated, it's going to help us illuminate. And this is the process of placing value on your experiences and your performance. Jim Rohn says that it's either going to applaud you or it's going to prod you on. So I love that fact about the illumination. And then we take and reflect and use it to illustrate. We use this process of reflection to expand our experiences into teachable lessons. Those were, of course, taken from the book as well. But reflection for personal awareness is very, very powerful, and it's a must for me. So here are some of the questions that are also taken from the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth that I use when I'm sitting in my thinking chair. when I'm using this to reflect, to gain more personal awareness and insight so that I can move forward and I can grow. So the first question, you might want to write these down, is what's my biggest asset? The second question is, what's my biggest liability? I knew you knew that one was coming. And then I like to really ask myself, well, what's my most worthwhile emotion? What one serves me best? And then what's my least worthwhile emotion? And then I ask myself and I really think, how did these serve me in my growth journey and in my business? I then go to thinking about what's my best habit. What habit serves me the least? And also, what's most fulfilling to me? Because that's my sweet spot. That's my strength zone. That's where I want to stay and play the most. And then I ask more specific questions in regard to specific areas of my business. Like it might be, around sponsoring or booking or cold calls or getting more people and prospects into my funnel. But be as specific as you possibly can as to what was the best thing that happened. What would I want to repeat? What would I want the growth process or the lesson to be that I learned? And what do I want to take away from this experience? I also ask myself, what would I like to enhance? Everyone needs a time and a place to pause. So let me ask you, where's your thinking chair? Have you taken time this week to really reflect? Take some time today, even in your own bathrobe. Don't jump into the shower real quick. Take some time and reflect. Today and this week, I really want to encourage you to make it a top priority. To find a place and a time for personal reflection and asking yourself questions. Now be sure to schedule it in. Schedule a time and don't hope to find a time because we know what happens with that. We all get busy, but find a time to pause and reflect and become consistent in this. It's transformational, I promise you. Thank you for spending your Saturday morning with me. I'm glad we could spend a little robe time together and really spend some time reflecting. I'm planning on having a little bit of extra downtime this week to reflect over the weekend. I love a long weekend, and especially because I get to spend it with my family. And I hope that you do the same thing. Take care and God bless you, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye, everybody.